Alright, so hi everyone, I'm Nicholas and today I'm taking a clear side in the debate. Strategy versus the execution. My view is simple. Execution is what drives long-term success. Strategy matters, but execution is the thing that makes the result show up in the real world. So now, let me start with a truth. Idea achieved. Delivery is rare. Most companies can talk about a strategy. Far fewer can actually turn it into the everyday action. So, as we go, I'm looking at what separates the winners from the ones that fed up. So, here is the plan. First, I will define strategy and execution in plain words. Then, I will explain why I think execution is the real advantages. After that, two quick case studies. Netflix as the good execution example and Nokia as the execution gap example. Finally, I will share a few tools you can copy. So, first thing first, what is strategy? In simple terms, strategy is a set of choices. It's where you choose to play, how you choose to win, and just as important, what you decide not to do. A good strategy is coherent. It has a clear diagnosis, a guiding approach, and the action that match it. So next is about execution. Execution is the how. It's how you translate those choices into the result. It's about the priorities, the ownership, deadline, and follow-up. Plus the boring but important stuff like skill, system, and culture. Execution is not working harder, it's making the organization work together. So this is why I think execution is the real mode. First, strategy gets the copy. Competitors can copy a direction, but it's much harder to copy a company habits, routineness, and speed. Second, markets move fast, so the winners learn and deliver quickly. Third, many failures are internal. Misalignment, politics, unclear owners, that's execution. Right? So this slide shows the missing middle. Strategies does not fail because the goal is too big. They fail in the middle, building capabilities and running daily process. Two firms can have similar strategy, but if one has stronger capabilities and better routines, it will win over time. A useful execution bridge is the balanced scorecard. I like it because it forces alignment. Instead of saying we want to grow, you translate that into targets across the financial, the customer, internal process, and the learning and growth. In other words, it's turned the vision into measurable work with owners and initiative. So now look at this table. It's basically a reality check. Most strategy problems look like execution problems. Baggage priorities, weak ownerships, bad incentive, and no feedback loop. If everyone is involved but no one is responsible, the plan will drift. And if you don't measure properly, you can't learn properly. So now, let's look to the case study 1, the next week. The big bet was moving from DVDs to streaming, and they started streaming in 2007. But the interesting part is not just the bet, it's the follow through. They build the capabilities to scale, and they keep reinventing the product and the content and the technique. So here are a few execution moves that made that strategy real. They built a strong data and experiment culture. So decisions were not just opinions. They invested in reliability and scaling. For example, the long cloud migration journey, and they shaped the operating model around the speed. Autonomy, but with clear context. So, what does Nextweek prove? The strategy was a direction. Execution was the advantages. They translated the direction into the capabilities, both technical and cultural, and they keep the learning loop going. That's what I mean by execution as a repeatable system. It's keep the working even when the environment changes. Right, so now let's look to the case study 2, Nokia. This is not a Nokia was stupid story. Okay, that's too easy. They had smart people and strong assets. The problem was that the smartphone changed the game, and Nokia struggled to respond fast and in a coordinated way. That's the execution gap. From an execution lens, the pattern is familiar. Unclear platform direction across the team, slow decision making, and internal friction. When the internal pressure is high, honest reporting can slow down, and the organization react late. The famous burning platform message showed that they knew it was serious, but knowing is not the same as delivering. So this quick metric is my summary. Nextweek sits high on execution capability that could build, ship, and adjust. Nokia, during the key period, struggled more on that execution axis. My main point is, long-term outcomes are often decided by execution capability, not by having the smartest strategies like. So, execution needs alignment. The 7S model is a simple way to think about it. Strategy, structure, system, share values, style, staff, and skills. If one S is off, delivery gets messy. Nextweek keep turning the S as their skill. Nokia struggle to keep them aligned during disruption. So here the practical two keys. Keep priorities filled. 3, not 30. Name one clear honor for each priority. Build capability, people, process, and tech. Align incentive so people are rewarded for the right outcome. And review, often in a short cycle, using the honest numbers that adjust quickly. So now about the silent killer. So these silent killers are what quietly destroy the execution. First, top team not aligned. Clear strategy, leaders trapped in firefighting, poor coordination, weak leadership down the line, and the low trust. The tricky part is they don't look dramatic at first, but they compound over time. So, to be fair, strategy still matters. Bad strategy plus great execution means you feel faster. So, the real answer is you need both. But in practice, the biggest gap is usually execution. Because execution is harder, more human, and more messy. So, if you remember one thing, make it this checklist. Execution wins when it is focused on, measured, aligned, and adaptive. That's the difference between a plan that looks nice and a business that keep performing years after years. Alright, so I will finish with one sentence. In the long run, your strategy is what you do every day. Thank you so much for listening.